Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump's coup clowns. First up, very interesting news about America's defendant, Rudy Giuliani. So you guys might recall right before Thanksgiving, Giuliani finally started to turn over some of his assets to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the Georgia election workers that he defamed. Well, on Thursday prior to Thanksgiving, Giuliani filed an appeal, and he argued that the $146 million judgment against him just should be wiped out, should be overturned. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, though, the judge hauled him back into court and just throttled him because it seems that U.S. District Judge Louis Lyman, by the way, who's presiding over this case, he's just lost all patience with Giuliani. So he ordered Giuliani to comply with the court's order to hand over all of his assets to Freeman and Moss. And the impetus for this latest courtroom showdown was a complaint that Moss and Freeman had filed. So on the Friday before the holiday, Moss and Freeman's attorney informed the judge there have been numerous instances where they have been, quote unquote, intimidated or interfered with Moss and Freeman, or I should say Moss and Freeman have been the subject of intimidation and interference with them trying to seize Giuliani's property. So you might also remember, I mentioned a few weeks back, Giuliani cleared out his New York property. The bulk of the property of his belongings in that New York apartment had been moved to a storage facility that, what do you know, is called the America First Warehouse. So it is supposedly, at least what we knew of a few weeks ago, it's owned by a Trump supporter. Well, it's now come to light Giuliani is listed as a partner of that company, of that storage facility. So his name is listed on the company's website. And the other owner posted a video on Twitter. He filmed himself in front of all of Giuliani's property, and he told viewers, quote, "This is where we are going to do it. They are going to dissect the life of Rudy Giuliani right here, in front of my eyes, in front of your eyes, because I'm going to film it. This is not going to happen. America has to come back real fast. Pray for Rudy Giuliani. Today is his day." So the guy clearly is hiding this stuff for Giuliani. And you might also remember Giuliani recently said, "Oh, I can't access that storage unit. I have no authority to access it anymore. I can't get to my belongings." He's the co-owner, apparently. He's the co-founder of this company. So, just another big game, more lies. So Judge Lyman is just done with this. So the judge ordered Giuliani to relinquish the remainder of his property by December 13th. And he said if he does not, he will be hit with a contempt of court charge. Now, that means could be financial. He could throw him in jail, which I think is what really needs to be done here to wake him up. So that all went down the Friday before Thanksgiving. Well, then on Tuesday of last week, the holiday week, Giuliani was back in court and they were discussing his attorneys withdrawing from the case. Because you might also remember his two attorneys were like, "We're done, we're out, we can't make sense of what he's trying to do," essentially is what they said. And they didn't even tell Giuliani, but they withdrew. So Giuliani, as normal, didn't do himself any favors. Would be an understatement from what we're hearing, because in court, he goes in for this hearing. Again, it's just to talk about his attorneys dumping him and getting a new attorney. The courtroom sketch artist went on CNN and she told the host, quote, "He's losing it." So her name is Jane Rosenberg, and apparently she's been sketching Giuliani for 40 years, and she said she has never seen him so out of control. Rosenberg described Giuliani talking over the judge. He was talking over his own attorneys. She said he would start yelling, like as his attorneys are trying to speak with the judge, he's behind them screaming at them, giving them orders. Law and Crime news outlet also said that at one point there was this back and forth with Giuliani's attorneys and the judge, and they were discussing the Mercedes that he gave to Moss and Freeman. You guys might remember it was owned by an old, very famous movie actress. So that was one of the things he turned over to them in the past couple weeks. But the judge said, yeah, you did give them the car, but you didn't give them the title to the car or the keys. Kind of important. And as the judge was saying this, Giuliani blurted out, quote, "I have applied for the title. I haven't gotten it yet. What am I supposed to do? Make it up myself?" And then Giuliani yelled at the judge, quote, "I don't have a car. I don't have a credit card. I don't have cash. Everything I have is tied up. They have put a stop orders on my business accounts, and I can't pay my bills." So Judge Lyman warned him, you really need to let your attorney speak on your behalf. And then Giuliani sniped at him, quote, "Somebody has to tell the truth." I mean, so is he saying his new attorney isn't telling the truth on his behalf? I mean, guy seems to be working for free. Anyway, and then he told the judge, quote, "You are against me. They have put a stop order on my Social Security account." So the judge warned him again and said, look, if you don't stop talking, if you don't stop interrupting, you're going to need to represent yourself. We're going to get rid of your attorney. You can represent yourself. Judge Lyman also ruled against Giuliani's request because he was asking to delay his upcoming trial because he wants to attend Trump's inauguration. So the judge said, quote, "The defendant's social calendar does not constitute due cause." Now, what's really funny is that Giuliani goes out, he's talking with the press, and he's accusing this Judge Lyman of being a quote unquote left-wing Democrat. Kind of hard to sell considering that Judge Lyman was appointed by Trump. So just goes to show you how annoying Giuliani is, how much he's been lying, how much he's been playing games, that even a Trump-appointed judge is just sick of his shit. So we'll see if Giuliani complies with this latest deadline. I kind of hope he doesn't. I hope he ends up in jail. My money is on, him not doing it, but I'm not so sure about the judge. He may just hit him with some financial penalties, which, what good is that? The guy's not paying anything anyway. So anyway, would love to see him behind bars. I will let you know. Next, I have an update about sloppy Steve Bannon. The judge agreed to postpone Bannon's We Build the Wall trial to late February. And they said that it's because of new evidence that was introduced by the prosecutor. So for a good reason, I'm okay with that. I'll allow it. The trial, just so you guys know, it was supposed to start last month in late November. And so it's now been moved to February 25th of next year. And the judge said, this is it. They are not changing the date again. That's the trial date. It's moving forward. And remember, this is a state case. So Trump has no pardon power. If and when Bannon is convicted of fraud in the state, he's done. I also have some good news to share about Tina Peters. As you guys know, she was the Colorado County clerk who was just sentenced to 9 years in prison because she spearheaded the illegal breach of voting equipment in her office. And this was obviously following the 2020 election. Well, the state's independent ethics committee is still investigating her. And they said it's for money that she raised for a legal defense fund. As an elected official, county official, apparently she couldn't accept more than $65 from any one donor. But Peters, as you guys might remember, she was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from My Lumpy Pillow Man alone. So here's what Mike Lindell admitted to. This was when he was interviewed, or I guess questioned, by Channel 9 News. This was back in 2022. Check this out.
How much have you raised for Tina Peters' legal defense fund?
I just put all the money in myself.
And how much is that?
I don't know. I probably put in 3, 4, 5, maybe $800,000 of my own money.
So, and that, $300,000 to $800,000, as if, I guess money just flows at will with this guy. So who can keep track whether it's $300,000 or $800,000? I mean, potato. Anyway, that's just the cash. That is just cash that Lindell gave her. He also, you might recall, was flying her all around the country. He also, at one point, was putting her up in a safe house, as he put it, and paying for that. So it was a lot more than that. And if the ethics committee finds that she did, in fact, violate state laws by accepting all this money and all the in-kind gifts, she could be ordered to pay double that amount in fines. So, say 800,000 plus, yeah, she could be on the hook for 1.6 million or more. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that. I also have a bit of quick news out of Wisconsin. So in mid-November, it was announced that the Office of Lawyer Regulation filed a complaint against a former Wisconsin Supreme Court justice named Michael Gableman. Now, if Gableman's name sounds familiar to you, I've talked about him before. He was hired by Trump allies to investigate the quote so-called 2020 election fraud. So that investigation just dissolved into a complete clown show. Gableman was it was so bad, he was ridiculed by the same Trump allies who hired him, who gave him that position. And the complaint against Gableman accuses him of making false statements, disrupting a court hearing, questioning a judge's integrity, making derogatory remarks about opposing counsel, and violating open records law. Gableman's also accused of violating attorney ethics rules because they said that he publicly revealed private conversations that he had with the man who hired him. So we'll see what happens with that as well. I mean, it's very interesting and appreciated that this is still going on, that these people are still being held to account even 4 years out from that election. And, like I said, a lot of this is state regulations, state laws that they're violating. And so Trump is not going to be able to do anything about it. He can try. I mean, I'm sure there will be some court battles, and I will definitely let you know if those happen, but oh well. All right, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.